Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to be looking at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Infinite Frontier Damian Wayne Robin action figure. This is Robin in his current costume, much more black than his traditional red and green outfit. I got this figure from GameStop. Buddy of mine told me they had it in stock. I was surprised. Lo and behold, they did. Ordered it, and a couple days later, here it is. Now the annoying thing is, I ordered the bundle from the McFarlane toy store. It's the only way to get the unmasked Damian Wayne. But I really didn't want to wait until late May. So I ordered this one from GameStop. I'll end up with an extra Robin later, but I should have no problem selling it to somebody. So let's go and check out the packaging. As you can see, 22 moving parts, McFarlane toys, ages 12 plus, DC Multiverse Robin. Here he is in the package. Comes with a sword, display stand, and collector's card. One side of the package, Robin from Infinite Frontier. Other side, Robin. At the bottom, got a bunch of credits, and there is a barcode, in case that helps anybody. On the back side, here's Damian Wayne posed up with a sword. And here are a bunch of other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures you should check out. So no further ado, let's open them up. And here's this new Infinite Frontier Damian Wayne, next to the original, more traditional red and green outfit Damian Wayne Robin. Alright, now that we have this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. He does come with a display stand, a collector's card, and then a katana. But before we look at the accessories, let's talk about and check out the actual figure. So this is Damian Wayne. The figure's from Infinite Frontier, but that's really just where he made his first appearance. This is Damian Wayne's current modern costume. He has his own comic series called Robin. Damian Wayne is the fourth Robin and the son of Bruce Wayne and Talia al Ghul, the grandson of Ra's al Ghul, trained by League of Shadows, and honestly, usually kind of a little asshole when it comes to being around Batman. Very cool to finally have the modern incarnation of Robin. And I'll tell you, he doesn't seem to share a single part with the previous Robin figure. He also has a normal expression on his face, and I really appreciate that. So let's take a look. So this is Damian Wayne. Start with this head sculpt. I really appreciate that it's more neutral. The other one had this sort of sour expression on it. And I'm going to end up with an extra Damian here. Probably head swap a normal expression head onto the old one and then have a sour expression on here for two different versions. Hair looks pretty good. Similar to what we've seen before. A little wavy. Domino mask looks good. Eyes are very large, exaggerated, just like Damian's pretty much always drawn. He's got the hood hanging off to the back. Cape, black on the outside, yellow on the inside. The suit, different texturing on the different parts. This on top of what's underneath. They got the gray, the black, utility belt, double jointed elbows, double jointed knees, better than last time. Laces on the shoe. It all looks pretty nice, although I personally prefer the traditional red and green Robin costume. And then, just a closer look at his head or face sculpt. Not bad. Call me boring, but I prefer a neutral expression like this on my figures. Another regular, normal, modern Rebirth Bat family member to add to the mix. I hope they give us Batwoman, Orphan, Spoiler, The Signal, and Red Robin to even out the team. Now let's look at his accessories, and let's start off with the boring stuff. Here's his display stand, typical McFarlane stand, black perfect circle, says DC at the bottom. It's got one peg for the peg holes on his feet, very thin, very basic. Here's his collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of the figure Damian Wayne Robin holding his katana. Robin from Infinite Frontier. On the back side, there is a description. If you want to read that, go ahead and pause now. Here's his collector's card, next to the original DC Rebirth Robin's collector's card by McFarlane. Now let's look at his sword. Not too much to say about this. The blade, silver, a little point at the end. Then the handle, we got a little bit of sculpting detail there. I appreciate the fact they didn't just release the same sword from the first Damian Wayne. That sword was Deathstroke's sword. Here's the new Damian Wayne sword, next to the previous Damian sword at the bottom. Here's Damian Wayne holding a sword. He can only hold it with one hand, as the other hand is a fisted hand. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing at about 6.1 inches tall, which can translate to about 15.5 centimeters. Now I looked it up. Damian's supposed to be 14 years old. Feels like maybe the figure is just a little bit bigger than he should be. But I realize there's all kind of different shapes and sizes for teenagers. Now let's check out his articulation. Start with his head here, of course. Rotate from side to side. Look up and down about that much, not too much. Can tilt his head from one side to the other. Give him a good amount of personality. Shoulders, ball joint, goes out about 90 degrees. This thing doesn't really obstruct it, it's soft. It could go even higher. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He's got a butterfly joint, can't really see it, between his shoulder and chest area. Increasing range of motion a little bit. Bicep cut. Double jointed elbows. His wrists, it can rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. Now I believe he has a ball joint under the soft goods overlay in his torso, and another one in his waist. Now the torso, yeah, it functions, but you're not really going to get to hold any of those poses. His waist, rotate around, forward and back. Legs, complete does the splits. Looks like a couple ball joints in there. Rotation, pretty minimal. The legs go forward, about that far, back, not too much. Double jointed knees below that. Then his ankle here is forward and back. Can rotate, can tilt, rock, and he has toe articulation. Here's the Rebirth Batman and the Infinite Frontier Robin in the Batcave in front of the Batcomputer. Then, on a rooftop overlooking Gotham City. Here are all four of Batman's different Robins in their current identities and their current costumes. Nightwing, Red Hood, Red Robin, and Robin. Now let's check them out, next to some other action figures, starting off with some other McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to the Rebirth Batman. These two make a pretty good pair, the modern incarnations of both characters. But honestly, looking at the two, Damian seems a little bit too big next to the Rebirth Batman. And it's not just his height, the overall scale. I mean, look at the size of the head. Yes, the Rebirth Batman is a little bit smaller than some of the other McFarlane figures, and the head a little bit smaller. But Damian Wayne, just like the previous one, has a gigantic noggin. Here he is, with the previous Damian Wayne McFarlane Robin. This one is simply based off the Rebirth comics. Although I do prefer the more familiar red and green and yellow costume. This is how he looks right now in the comics. And I'll tell you, I was very impressed. I don't believe there's a single shared part between these two figures. I couldn't comment on what's underneath the soft goods overlay. It might be the same. The articulation was quite frustrating on the previous Robin, and they improved that quite a bit on the new release. Here are all the different Robin figures McFarlane has made so far. We have the Robin Crows, the Robin King, a couple Damian Wayne Robins, a couple Carrie Kelly Robins, and a Tim Drake Robin. Well, of course, McFarlane did make a couple of Dick Grayson Robins in their 1966 line. Here's Robin, next to several different Batman figures. These are all based off the comics. And here, next to 7 more Batman figures. These are from different various forms of media. Here he is, next to a bunch of older versions of McFarlane's Bat Family. And then, next to some more updated versions of the Bat Family, add in the Tim Drake Robin from Gotham Knights. And this is pretty much every single member of the Bat Family McFarlane has made so far. They got some catching up to do. Here's my favorite version of each one of the Robins McFarlane has made. Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, and Damian Wayne. Now let's check them out, next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to a couple of Lex Luthor figures. Then, next to Superboy Prime and the Dark Knight Returns Armored Batman, Blue Edition. And here, next to a couple of Lobo figures. Then, with the Birds of Prey Harley Quinn and the Mortal Kombat 11 Joker. And here, next to the Speed Force Flash from Zack Snyder's Justice League, and the Reverse Flash from DC's Rebirth comics. Then, next to the Batman Beyond, Unmasked Batwoman, and Atomic Edition of Blight. Here he is, next to a couple of General Zod figures. Then, next to the Future State, Batman, and Dark Detective. And here, next to the Superman versus Armored Batman for the Dark Knight Returns 2-pack. And now, next to all 3 variations of McFarlane's Swamp Thing Mega figure. And here, next to the 3 Joker's wave. And now, here's Damian next to the 4 Gotham Knights figures. And here's Robin, next to McFarlane's The Batman Collection. Then, next to the Batman, Dark Knight Returns, Build a Horsewave. And here, next to the Justice League Endless Winter Collectic Build of Frost King Wave. Now let's check him out, next to some other Damian Wayne figures. Here he is, with the previous McFarlane Damian Wayne Robin figure. And here he is, next to all my different DC Direct and DC Collectibles Damian Wayne figures. Then, next to an Art FX Damian Wayne statue. And here, with all my different Mattel Damian Wayne figures. I did some part swapping around, and ended up with 4 of them. Here he is, next to a custom Damian Wayne Robin I made many years ago. I made this way before any company made a Damian Wayne Robin figure. And here's my Damian Wayne in civilian attire, when he's not being Robin. And here's my entire collection of 6 and 7-inch scale Damian Wayne as Robin figures. I believe I have them all. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, to see how he fits in both scale and style wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane figure, they're typically the 7-inch scale, and he's going to be a little bit smaller because he's a teenager. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the large action figure lines I collect and work way smaller. Here he is with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. Then, next is more McFarlane Toys. These are from different various video game properties. And now, next is some Jack-specific wrestling figures. And here he is, next to some DST or Diamond Select Toys. Then, next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And here he is, with some NECA figures. Then, next to some Mattel wrestling figures. And now, next to some Jazzwares AEW wrestling figures. And here he is, next to some Mezco 112 collective figures. Then, next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here, with some Mafex figures. Then, next to some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here he is, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. Overall, this is a pretty nice Damian Wayne figure. Although I prefer the more traditional yellow, red, and green Robin outfit, this is what I want from a McFarlane figure. A current, normal, modern look for a Batman character. 2 thumbs up for not giving us the Dark Knight's metal version of Damian or something like that. His articulation is very nice, it's improved from the previous Robin. His accessory, just sword, nothing super special there. Sculpt and paint job are excellent, I don't see any issues. If I were to rate this guy, I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. Really enjoying this figure, happy to add him to my Rebirth collection. So this is D Hunter, thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.